Hello, everyone. So I've just been sitting here in my car listening to the Glitch Mob. I love the Glitch Mob. It's so good. If you've never heard the Glitch Mob, check it out. It's like this very textured, deep electronic music, and I just love electronic music so much. All right, so um, what I mean to talk to you about right now is my experience with developing my introverted feeling, and probably also extroverted feeling, because feelings are just feelings. We study all of this theory and we try to understand what personality types are and all this stuff, and I'll get all these little insights and little things that help us understand better. But I think a lot of times maybe we don't really know like we have this information, but how do we use it? That's the question. Well, in my own experience, I learned about this stuff, and even though I knew it, I didn't really know how to apply it. Specifically, it's like, for example, as an INTP, that's my type, I'm supposedly weak at feelings. So how do I fix that? Because what does that mean? And I think it does mean you need to pay attention to that and fix it. And fixing it, what that means is you feel better and you enjoy your life more when you fix it, or you have better decision-making skills because you're more in touch with your emotions, things like that. Well, in order to get in touch with your emotions, it's really not that hard. It's just that you're not used to doing it, probably. I've also noticed that when I talk to NFPs or SFPs, they do they're in touch with their emotions, but it's not really in an intellectual kind of way. They're more in touch with it intuitively. It's more natural. Sort of like they have to deliberately think, we have to deliberately feel if we're thinkers. So what I'm going to talk about here is, how do you develop your feelings? Okay. Well, the very first thing you need to understand is, as I explained in other words, you need to feel. You need to feel your feelings. You need to actually pay attention to what they are. And because, especially if it's not something you naturally do, it may take you a while. And it also, if you have special life circumstances, like you had narcissistic siblings or parents growing up, or some caretaker, or you were in an abusive relationship or something like that, that will make this harder. Okay, and if you've had a lot of struggles or traumas in your life that were unprocessed for whatever reason, maybe you have PTSD, maybe you're a veteran or something, that will also affect this. All right. So pay attention to your feelings. See how you feel. Just go inside yourself and see how you feel. It's almost like a feeling you get in your body, but it's a very diffuse feeling. It's almost like just a general sense you get about everything in general, if that makes sense. Like the feeling of wonder is like almost like a state of curiosity, like a satisfied curiosity or a potential for satisfied curiosity. And you can actually feel what that is. Once you've identified these feelings, and this is something you need to actively do every day, that's the key. Do at least a couple times a day, just pay attention to what your feelings are. In fact, that's all you really need to get from this video for now, until you've done these exercises, is just pay attention to your feelings. And then after you've paid attention to your feelings for probably 6 to 8 weeks in my experience, then you can do more if you want. So the next step after you've noticed your feelings is to pay attention to the gap between how you feel and how maybe other ways you could feel in that same situation. Like, what's causing those feelings? So maybe you feel angry, but you never really thought to question why or pay attention to why. Well, if you pay attention to why you felt angry at something, let's say you felt angry because you've been trying to get a new job for 2 years and it hasn't panned out. And at first you were just like sad or felt like afraid, but then you got angry over time. Well, the solution, if there is one, is to recognize that anger is there, and you have to accept it. It's fine that you're angry. Don't get mad at the anger. Focus on, okay, I'm angry, now what? Then you think about it and you're like, well, maybe instead of feeling angry, a more appropriate interpretation of the situation would be to feel driven, or to feel determined. To be like, you know what, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. And this is important because emotions drive your behaviors a lot of times. If you're feeling angry, it's going to create a different set of behaviors than if you're feeling determined. You're going to think about things differently, and you'll get different results. This is kind of what they mean when they say the law of attraction, but really, this is more, I guess, technical and academic. So you've paid attention to your feelings, and you're aware of what they are, and then you've thought about, why do I feel that way? And you're fine with the feelings as you're doing this, and then you're reinterpreting those feelings in a healthy way. And as you reinterpret those feelings, that will change your emotions, because feelings and emotions are not the same thing. Feeling is just like that sense you get in your body. But it's kind of like a study they did a while back where basically they shot adrenaline into two test groups. And in one test group, they put them in a room with someone who was an actor who was really angry. And then in another test group, they put them in a room with an actor who was really happy. And when they shot them adrenaline, in either case, what happened was they got a stronger feeling, but in one case, they interpreted it as anger around the angry actor. And in another case, they interpreted it as happy around the happy actor. So really, emotions are not like this solid thing. You need to understand that how you feel is not how you feel. It's how you choose to feel, which is really weird if you've never thought about it like that before. The question then is, when you interpret it, what's the appropriate interpretation of a feeling to create the appropriate emotion that is the most effective for that situation? Like, does feeling bad, is that the appropriate thing to feel here that will lead to your maximum satisfaction and ease of being, or whatever it is you're wanting to do over the long term? If not, really think about or feel out your emotions. Yeah. I think that's a good primer for now. It really goes very, very deep if you want to, because we have like 1,000 words for emotions, and it's not like you could spend your whole life focusing on this stuff and it would be beneficial. So yeah, my personal experience with this has been, compared to a few months ago, before I started doing this, I felt kind of like agitated a lot, and I didn't even know I felt agitated because I wasn't paying attention to it. And then after a few months, I felt more like I do now, more calm, focused, serene. I often feel a sense of wonder and awe about the world, which is how I used to feel many years ago. Just don't get discouraged if you're like in a really bad place or whatever. Don't judge the emotions, just to know that they're there. That's all you need to do, and you'll be okay. Just keep being aware of your emotions. All right? Hopefully that was helpful, guys. I appreciate those of you who stick around, because, I mean, I hope that this stuff that really some people could charge a lot of money for is helpful to you. All right? So, ciao.